Today's show brought to you by redcon1.com. That's right. Click the link at the bottom of the podcast app in which you are listening to this on. Check them out. Use promo code T20 Quartermiss. That's right. redcon1.com.
There's nothing special about being American. None of you can define for me what an American is.
I am the nation. I was born on July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run in my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I am many things and many people. I am the nation. I'm 200 million living souls and the ghost of millions who have lived and died for me. I'm Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard round the world. I'm Washington, Jefferson, Patrick Henry. I'm John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, Davy Crockett. I'm Lee.
Coming to you from the DTOM Studios in the free state of Florida, sponsored by Maker's Mark Bourbon. This is Don't Tread on Merica. Alrighty, everybody. How's everyone doing out there? Today is December 14th, 2025. How's everybody doing out there today? Got a good show for you today. We're going to talk about something a little bit off the cuff. Yes, off the cuff. But before we get to all that, let's talk about drinking. Guys, yesterday we started the 12 Drinks of Christmas on the Ticker Talker. So I encourage you, if you're on TikTok, to go follow the show. Don't Tread on America on the Ticker Talker. Simple. Started the drinks. This is the third year of the 12 Drinks of Christmas. So we've got, I just did another video today, so we've got 26 choices for you on top of the other drinks that I've made on there. So if you're interested, I am doing some different things on there. We're doing some vodka drinks and some whiskey drinks. We do a vodka drink and a whiskey drink and a cider drink and a, no cider. All right. So go there. If you're not on TikTok, maybe get on TikTok. Check it out. You can, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, also, you can follow us on the other social media platforms. Don't Tread on America on Facebook, Instagram, and, of course, like I said, the Ticker Talker. And, of course, on the Twitter X machine, it is DTOM Podcast 1776. If you are not on social media, we have a website. It is DontTreadonMerica.com. Follow the show there. Subscribe. I don't spam you with a bunch of shit because I don't have that kind of time. Okay? Obviously, it's my first show in almost a week. Obviously, I don't have that kind of time. And if you have any questions, concern, anything you want to say, you want to come on the show, you have anything important to say, if you're of someone of consequences, if you're writing a book, if you have another podcast or whatever, and you want to come on the show, that's fine. Email me, DonQ at Don't Tread on America. But first, we got to start things right. A little bit of Damn Yankees. Don't Tread on America version, courtesy of one Ted Theodore Nugent. I encourage you to sing along, guys. Today we're going to talk about this whole 6-7 bullshit that's going on. You know, at first everyone just thought it was cute and funny and stupid. But is it? I think there's more to it. Think about it, guys. We'll discuss after the opening lyrics. Sing along, please. Go. America. Merica! Don't you try to hold on me. Don't you tread on Merica. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Tread on Merica. Of course, I am your host, Donq, coming to you live from the bunker where the deep state can't touch me. Today, folks, we're diving deep, real deep, into a rabbit hole of this so-called 6-7 craze that's got kids everywhere chanting like they're in some kind of trance. And you know what I'm talking about. 6-7, 6-7. It's everywhere. Schools banning it. Parents freaking out. And now the conspiracy world is blowing up with theories that this isn't just some dumb meme. Oh no. This is straight up demonic warfare targeting our youth. If you're new here, buckle up. We're going to be here for about 6 hours. Now, probably about an hour. Of unfiltered truth bombs. I'll break down the origins, every conspiracy theory under the sun. We'll play some audio clips from whistleblowers and pastors. And read excerpts from articles that back it all up. And yeah, we'll have a few commercial breaks because truth seekers got to pay the bills too, right? So let's get into it, guys, after this guitar solo from one Ted Nugent. Drink some whiskey too. If you're looking at this on Rumble and DontTreadonMericaTV, you might be thinking, what the hell's he drinking? If you want to know, go to TikTok. All right, Uncle Ted, that's enough. We got to get to the show. Now, he's my uncle. You didn't know that? All right, first off, what is this 6-7 thing? It started with a Philly rapper named Skrilla and his track Doot Doot. This is what we're playing in the background. So don't get in the trance and start killing people. Where he mumbles 6-7 over and over. It went viral on TikTok when a basketball kid shouts it, and boom, Gen Alpha is obsessed. Schools are calling it disruptive, but that's the least of it. Dictionary.com even named it Word of the Year for 2025. Harmless fun? Think again. Let's unpack, or better yet, unpack the conspiracies. So, let's start with the basics. Skrilla's from Philly, tied to the streets, but dig deeper and you'll find gang connections. 6-7 allegedly reps the YSN gang from the 6700 block of North Philly. Violent stuff, drugs, shootings. Is this meme glorifying gang life to kids? You bet. But that's just the tip of it. I mean, we could even say, if you go back to when I was a kid and listen to like NWA and stuff, same situation, but this is a little bit darker. The real meat of all this is Skrilla's into Santeria, or some call it Palo, an Afro-Cuban religion with animal sacrifices, spirit invocation, the works. Theorists say he's sacrificing chickens or worse for fame. The whole 6-7 is a chant calling on Loa spirits. Kids repeating it, they're unwittingly opening portals. Don't believe me? Let's play this clip here after I stop him from doing his little Skrilla thing. Where's he at here? Let me erase that. We'll stop that because it's over. Not that it was even a fucking song. That's just amazing. Check this out. This is him.
Show y'all some shit with my religion.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Go, my godfather right here. Yeah.
And according to some sources, 6-7 is about two gods named Ogun and Yamoha that Skrilla makes sacrifices to. Skrilla's raps about other gods on tracks like Stashbox when he said, tap that button, go erase some, bro smoking ops, he got laced blunts, haven't talked to my Orishas till my day come. I know a leg will gonna re-arrive and resurrect me, ain't nothing. And on the track, Words from Osun, he rapped, "Bitch, I ain't scared of shit. Bitch, I'm the weatherman. I'm making snow like Jeezy, bitch. If I'm gon' die, then I'ma die, huh? Cause I know Osun not alive." And on the track Shoestrings, Skrilla raps about doing sacrifices and said, "Having convos every once a while, and then I done make some sacrifices. Kill a goat, wash away the sins. Having talkings with Babalawo, he telling me I'm gonna live a while." When Skrilla was rapping 6'7", he was allegedly using it as a ritual chant to put a curse on his ops. And some sources claim that everyone who says it is taking part in the ritual without even knowing it. 6'7" are the only words most people quote from the track. And they don't even know that the full bar is about Skrilla killing his ops when he raps, "Shades on, I'm bull with the glasses. Bro say cause he a savage. So many dead ops, so many ashes. You ain't catch that? I can't pass this. Shooters stay strapped, I don't need mine. Bro put belt right to their behind. The way that switch, I know he dying. 6'7", I just bip right on the highway." Some people think Skrilla was trying to get kids to say 6'7", so they be doing the chant. And that's allegedly why he raps about Baby Shark on the same track and said, "Dump truck, Baby Shark do-do-do-do. I popped the perk and popped the blue."
God damn it, these fucking commercials. Right in the middle of the fucking thing. Who gives a shit?
Wix.
Yeah, Wix. Okay. You're not a paid sponsor. You can get the fuck out of here. How does that sound? Jesus Christ.
It's going around that Skrilla worships the devil and is trying to get other people to do the same thing. Skrilla told Brandon Buckingham that he doesn't worship Satan, but some people think Skrilla's capping and that he's really making people chant 6'7" for the devil.
You don't worship Satan.
Fuck no, fuck no though. But I like when they talk, you know what I'm saying? They got their own little question mark on my head for real about that shit though, for real though. But I just let them think what they want to think though. Cause I'm like a unorthodox person for real because of that type shit.
The 6'7" trend kicked off a couple weeks after the track dropped. At first, people were just using it for edits of NBA players on social media. But then a high school player named Taylor TK Kinney referenced the track when he was rating a drink from Starbucks, and it went crazy viral. Now people are calling TK Mr. 6'7", and he even started a brand of canned water called 6'7 Water. A lot of people are making money off the track, and even washed up pop stars are trying to get some shine off of Skrilla's success. Natasha Bedingfield is an old pop singer who had some hits in the 2000s like Pocket Full of Sunshine. But she brought Skrilla out on stage so she could play Doop Doop 6'7" at her show in Philly. And even Kim Kardashian joined in and made a joke about 6'7" on TV. Some people think Skrilla's chant worked because he's taking over the game like crazy. But besides the allegedly demonic ritual, there's a real deadly gang war behind the track too. There are a lot of rumors behind what 6'7" really means. And some people think it's about the police radio code 1067, which means that somebody died. But the true story behind 6'7" is that Skrilla jacked it from a real gang in Philly. Skrilla had an interview and said that 6'7" is a spot in Philly where a lot of his young shooters like Duty Baby come from.
Yeah, 6'7", that's where all my young boys, like that's where my young boys from. You ever heard of?
All right, so there it is. And here's an excerpt from Charisma magazine. The demonic secret behind the viral 6'7" trend, it seems kids everywhere are going crazy over the viral 6'7" trend, repeating it like a mantra. But behind it is Skrilla's involvement in Palo, a demonic religion involving witchcraft. They tie it to satanic influences, saying repetition in kids is the theta brainwaves that makes them susceptible to possession. You know, we could go on for hours about how this fits into a larger agenda. Elites using music to corrupt. But remember MK Ultra? This is modern psyops. But wait, there's more. Biblical numerology, Proverbs 616-19. There are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him. Theorists say 6'7" mocks God, listing haughty eyes, lying tongues, all abominations. Add them up, of course, 6 plus 7 equals 13, the number of rebellion in Genesis. Or reverse it to 76, flipping American independence. Some even say it's code for 666, 6'7", drop the 7, add a 6. Convoluted, but these numerologists do swear by it. Now, you guys know I'm not big on the numbers game. I think you can take numbers of any sort and make something out of it. That's just my personal opinion on it. But there's a pastor Nathan Bentley, in another Charisma article, Pastor exposes the satanic roots of 6-7 and its hidden spiritual agenda. He says, I saw a video about a trend. I had given it no thought to it. But when I saw it this morning, I realized it wasn't just harmless mean. There's a spiritual side to this. And, you know, that in that clip where he actually says with this, his godfather says that this is a worshiping to Santeria or to Satan. The Church of Satan straight from the horse's mouth. And he calls out Beyonce invoking Osha. Billie Eilish with demonic imagery. This isn't isolated. It's a network. So now the police code, you heard that in the video. Police codes 1067 means a dead body in some jurisdictions. So 67 is summoning death. Ties into death rituals. Accelerationism from cults like Order of the the Nine Angles. They're all about chaos to bring the end times. Reddit's buzzing too. In Reddit, our Christianity, he says, the 6-7 trend is satanic. No, seriously. The user says, be broke, sacrifice animals for fame, worship Satan openly, music and 6-7 meme go viral. Another thread, Ask a Christian, debates if it's demonic, citing the basketball kid in hand gestures as ritualistic. And if I could read, this show would probably be good. Even ex-Muslims are mocking it. I think I have it here. Where's it at? Come on. Work with me. Did I? Here it is. Let me move it over here. Then we'll go back to what I was reading. But one says anything that is not in their God is considered to be satanic in nature. Cross-faith panic. Here is this guy here. This I don't know what his religion is, but his kids are wearing burqas, so it may be Muslim. Anyway, this is what he says.
Your kids have been saying these numbers because of a viral meme right now. But if you ask them what it means, they'll say nothing. Ugan, the demonic spirit of iron, with the sacred number of 6. Yamuja, the goddess of the ocean, with the sacred number of 7. 6, 7. Devil worship disguised as a trend. So protect your kids and don't get caught lacking.
So in the video, it makes sense where you're raising gods. You know, if you're doing the hand motions, what these kids do with the 6-7, right? You're raising up those gods to worship them. And then there's the pedo angle. It ties into the 764 cult. Some say 6-7 desensitizes kids to violence, linking to online extortion rings. There's no obviously direct proof, but the patterns are there. Sorry.
6-7, a meme kids can't get enough of and teachers can't get away from.
We are not saying the word 6-7 anymore.
Some schools even banning the phrase in classrooms.
You are no longer allowed to say, what number do you think I'm going to say?
6-7. All day, every day.
The trend took off a few months ago, but has re-intensified with school back in session. Thought to originate from a rap song by Skrilla. Experts we spoke to say the numbers really don't mean anything.
It's like slang to like make parents be like, what does that mean?
6-7 is a demonic chant that you guys have. This is Skrilla. This guy's the reason your kids are saying 6-7 from a song he made called Doot Doot. Literally a chant and summoning the spirits that he operates in.
I'm a Santo. I do Palo. I'm a Santo. What's that mean exactly? Like, all that sacrificing goats and not just for like, that's real life. You sacrifice a goat. Sacrifice goats, chickens, mice. Like, I do for certain shit. So like, I'm not allowed to explain it.
I take y'all in my godfather crib so he can show y'all something with my religion. Yeah.
Follow me. Starts off with the Legua, which is the path opener, Ogum, Ochosi, Shango, Aigayu, Ochun,
Yeah, like you can put bad spirits on people too. Like you can put a person's name and like their birthday and shit that inside the. You can put them inside the agoon pot. And then agoon like metal, like they get shot, stabbed, something can happen to them.
So it would be something in metal that would.
I heard it from him. He's in Santeria. He worships demons and he summons demons into people to harm people. In specific, he worships Ogun and Yemeya, which number 6 is Ogun in the song, and number 7 in Santeria represents Yemeya, which is exactly what he is saying in the songs, and now your kids are chanting it. It's a reason he used the baby shark theme. There's a reason that your kids feel addicted and like they can't stop saying 6-7, and in the songs, it's nothing but pills, drugs, and addiction. Jesus Christ could save witches and people out of witchcraft, and I pray that Skrilla gets radically saved from witch.
We don't need to play his whole thing. Anyway. So, this is modern sorcery. Frequencies in the chant open the doors to the kingdom of darkness, as Pastor Amanda Grace has warned in her podcasts. But first, before we get to the rest of this, guys, let's take a commercial break, all right? So, right now, we're going to talk about what? What do you guys think we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about Alp. That's right. You want to stay sharp without the smoke. Alp nicotine pouches, discreet, satisfying, and American-made. Use promo code, well, don't use promo code. Go to outpouch.com/DTOM for your first order. You get 10% off, guys. Don't tread on your freedom to enjoy. Get out today. Outpouch.com/DTOM. Check it out. All right. Okay, so now end time stuff. Revelation 6:7 seals opening apocalypse. Theorists say 6:7 signals the Antichrist. South Park even satirized it in their 2025 premiere, with Peter Thiel obsessing over it as Antichrist signs. Satire or hidden truth? You decide. Instagram reels are full of warnings. One says, stop saying 6-7. Parents be vigilant. Skrilla is a demon worshiper. Another says 6-7 is a demonic chant that you guys have your kids doing. So let's connect the dots. This is part of the Satanic elite agenda. Illuminati using memes for mind control, like backmasking in the 90s, but digital. Kids are portals because they're brainwaves. So I have this clip I'm going to play also from YouTube. Demonic 6-7 similar. This is what we just played, actually. Talking, you know, let me look ahead here. What is that? So I'm going to play this clip here from this lady who kind of breaks it down a little bit more on the brainwave aspect from kids.
Huge aspect to enchanting spells into this music.
Mantra, when you repeat a chorus over and over and over. So when a kid hears a song and he starts singing that chorus over, then you start to hear it in the alpha state, into the subconscious mind. So you start to become the song or become what you're saying.
Yeah, and here's another clip expressing the intentionality when it comes to mantras in spells and magic.
When you repeat a chorus over and over again, what's happening is it's going into your subconscious mind and you are becoming whatever you are singing.
And this is why it's so important to look into the artists whose music you are listening to. Okay, so let's do that. Let's look into the artist Skrilla, a YouTuber by the name Brandon Buckingham.
Well, we already played all that, so we don't need to play it again. So, it goes back to what we've talked about on the show before about the modernization of MK Ultra and the links between music, social media, you know, different brands of social media, obviously TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, but it's more like the Reels aspect of it, because people, the way TikTok works essentially is this. Now, I know I use TikTok to do my drink videos, so you could be like, oh, I'm not doing that. It's about algorithms. And then obviously if you have a kid that's 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, maybe they don't need to be on TikTok anyway. But I've told you this 100 times about TikTok. Generally what TikTok does is it feeds into your personal algorithm of what you search online. And like I said, if you're into cars, you're probably going to get a lot of different car videos. If you're into guns, you're going to get a lot of gun videos. If you're into cooking, you're going to get cooking videos. Drinks, you're going to get drink videos. Girlies shaking their fat asses, you're going to get girlies shaking their fat asses. I mean, it is what it is. If you constantly search certain things online, because take it for what it is, guys. I mean, the internet is an evil web. I mean, we all use it. Some use it for good, and a lot of people use it for bad. And kids can use it for bad unwittingly. And what I mean by that is, if you have a 12-year-old, 13, whatever, and they're on social media, if they're on Instagram or they're on TikTok, and the algorithm will catch up to that, because eventually they're going to understand that this is a younger person on TikTok based on the things they're watching. And then these other demonic, possessive situations can creep into their mind. And you think about this 6-7 trend, the whole 6-7, it's always just kids being kids. And I would believe that for the most part, that's probably true. That these kids don't know what they're talking about. We played the clip with the news person, and it's just something the kids say, and to confuse their parents. And I get it. Every generation of kids have their slang that your parents, obviously from a generation before, don't know what the fuck you're saying. We've all had it. But when it's something like this, and if this is a possibility, and you have hundreds of thousands of kids, maybe millions of kids, whether it's just in the United States or worldwide, that are doing this chant, could it be summoning demons of some sort? I don't know, but I guess it's all about what you believe in. And in all honesty, with everything that's going on in the world today, in every country in this world, we could talk about the Middle East, we can talk about what's going on in America. It makes you wonder if that's a possibility. But hold that thought, because we have another sponsor on board, all right? So hang tight here. So in this digital war, protect your data with NordVPN. Surf anonymously, bypass censorship. Go to NordVPN.com. Use promo code DTOM for a special deal. You get 30% off, and I think it's 3 months free right now, guys. So go to NordVPN, promo code DTOM. Don't let the feds tread on your privacy. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, so the Psyop angle. Of course, we got to put that in there, right, guys? Government or elites pushing this via algorithms to normalize occultism. Ties to voodoo, Ifa, Skrilla's allegedly invoking entities for success. One theory states it's a reversal ritual. 6, imperfection, and 7, perfection, balancing to promote rebellion against God. And don't forget the whole 764 connection. Some say 6-7 is code in those dark web cults for grooming. Skeptics say it's just fear-mongering, like the old satanic panic. But with all this evidence, even if origins are innocent, the intent is dark. Off Reddit from ex-Muslim, this guy thinks 6-7 meme is a hidden satanic ritual. They mock, but truth hurts. More articles off of Instagram debunking the real, but it admits there's more demonic imagery in there than you'll find in the Book of Satan. If you watch the video, it's quite disturbing. And I think the thing that kills me the most, like, I never even heard this song, I'll be honest with you, until yesterday. And I say song, but it's not. And I'm not going to sit here and critique what these young kids are listening to these days. I'm not going to be that guy. But this is garbage fucking music. And I'm not even just talking about that particular song. All his songs. And a lot of modern day rap. It's more chanting. It does seem like there's something going on there. And, you know, you've heard the old adage of so-and-so sold their soul to the devil. And I often wonder about that. This is Thoughts with Don. And this is something I've always wanted to talk about on this show, and I really wasn't planning on it, but here we go. One-hit wonders. Okay? We know them. I'm not going to sit here and name them all because I don't know them all. But you think about it, I'm 52, so you think back to the 80s and the 90s, and you always had this one song from this particular group, and then nothing, and then they did it. Then another group did a song, and it was a great song. It might have been the song of the year, maybe it was a top 5 song of that year, and nothing. That was it. And there's hundreds of these one-hit wonders throughout time. This isn't like an 80s thing. They had them in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s to today. And I often wondered, when you think back to the whole so-and-so sold their soul to the devil, hang with me here, just let me think about this. Could it be a situation where, if that's true, if so-and-so can sell themselves to the devil. I recall myself a clip of fucking, what's his name? Bob, God damn it, I can't think of his name. Oh, shit. And like that, I forgot his name. Jesus Christ. Anyway, a singer from back in the 60s and 70s. This is what happens. This is what happens when you don't write shit down. Anyway, what'll happen is I'll start talking about it and it'll pop in my head. Anyway. And he was in an interview where he mentioned that he had sold his soul to the devil. And, you know, that's what helped him. And you think, I swear to God, I wish I could remember his name. I just can't for the life of me. It's driving me crazy. I gotta look it up. Oh, Bob Dylan. That's it. Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan. I knew I'd come into my fucking head. You ever listen to him sing? Now, he did a song back in I think it was in the late 60s, early 70s, called Lady Lane. If you ever listen to that song, if you just look up that song and listen to it, and then you realize who's singing it, you're like, who the fuck is this? And now it's like, Mr. Bojangles, yeah, Mr. Bob Dylan, right? You know, that's how he talks and how he sings, but that song was nothing like that. And Lady Lane is a beautiful song. And then he sold his soul to the devil to keep the fame, essentially. So that was his one hit. But to continue on is what I'm saying. How many bands, how many singers, how many, groups, how many individuals, how many, maybe even, you could probably even go to movie stars. Movie stars or, television star, whatever, stars of any kind, that might do the same thing. They have a hit movie, but then they fall off. But then there's a guy that has a hit movie and they have 20 hit movies. And my thought process goes like this. What if singer back in the 80s, whatever group, whatever song, doesn't matter. What if they're approached after that first hit? Let's say the Tubes, for example. For some reason that song pops in my head. She's a beauty, right? She's a beauty, 1 in a million, blah, 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 right? Nothing. They had nothing out. That song was a tremendous hit. Still is listened to today, 40 some odd years later. And it makes you wonder if they were propositioned, if you want to continue this fame, we just need you to sign this contract. And then in reading said contract, it was really to sell your soul to the devil. And maybe I'm crazy, but maybe I'm not. And if something like this, he says himself, Skrilla says himself, that he does this to gain fame. So whether or not it's factual, he believes it to be true. And if that's the case, it could explain how some of these quote-unquote one-hit wonders come and go, but some other people just maintain. And then it also could bring into the point of how a lot of these individuals, whether they're movie stars or, singers of whatever genre, how they go from how they're introduced to the world to becoming, you know, they're doing a movie and they're dressed in a dress, and they're, you know, I'm talking about male actors, where they're dressed femininely. They cross dress, they wear a skirt, they or they have their kids out in public dressed like girls, like their boys are dressed like little girls. And you got to wonder if that's an embarrassment ritual that is part of the deal. Maybe it's not. Maybe these people are just fucked in the head. But you think about it. Some of your biggest actors in my time that were action heroes, were comics, were funny, were just great, seemed to be great actors, great comedians, whatever their shtick was. And then they do a movie where they have to dress like a woman. Or they're out in public with the dress on. And, you know, you can say, well, no, it's just sometimes people, you know, people don't do that. Normal people don't. I'm a man, 52 years old, you know, do with a full-time job and a part-time podcast. Am I going to just one day go out to dinner with my wife and say, you know what, I think I'm going to wear a dress today? No. No, that's not going to happen. Well, maybe it's because you're not weird. Some of these guys are weird. You know, Hollywood, they're weird. Hollyweird, right? Blah, blah, blah. Maybe. But it also could be that is part of the deal. You know, take Robin Williams, for example. Great talent. Funny guy. Had a career that lasted up until his death, where he was excelling. He does Mrs. Doubtfire. He has to cross-dress into a woman. You've seen the movie. You probably laughed at it. It's a good movie. I've seen it God knows how many times. But, you know, think about that stuff. You just look at the plot of the movie. Oh, he's doing that because he wants to be with his kids, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Would you do that to be with your kids? Would you dress like an old lady just so you could be in the house that your kids are in? Probably not. Don, it's a movie. It's make-believe. It's come on. That's not what I'm getting at, guys. I understand the premise of the movie. I'm talking about the actor having to do that, having to denigrate himself. And it was shortly thereafter that he fell into deep depression and then ended up killing himself. And then the excuse is, oh, you know, some of these individuals, they just can't handle the fame and they get so big and then they got locked out and they're so depressed because they're lonely even though they're popular and they have all this money. But and you might even ask, I don't see how someone like that, you know, they're millionaires. How could they kill themselves? If I had $1 million, I would be doing this, that, and the other thing. We've all said it. But if there's something else involved in all of this, think of the actors and singers throughout time that have killed themselves, whether they've died of alcohol, they've overdrank themselves to death. Well, that's just because they party too hard. Is it because they party too hard? Or is it because they got something going on upstairs that they just can't handle it anymore and they just want to go away? And then, like the lady said with the kids in their alpha waves, it gets them into a demonic chance. And this rapper invokes kids' songs. I mean, when did Baby Shark, when was that big? About 5 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago? And these kids that are 10 years old now were 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, back when that was big. And it attaches. That's why that song is catchy. But if you listen to the song, it almost makes you wonder, if you go to some of these kids that say 6, 7, if you played that video, that music for them, if they would even know what the fuck it was. It's not, because we live in a copycat world that something goes quote unquote viral and it just sticks. And then one kid does it, and then some other kid sees him doing it, then he does it, then 5 more, 10 more, 100 more, 50, you know, whatever it is. And, you know, schools are banning it, and teachers and parents. It's not because, I honestly believe it's not because they believe that there's some demonic ritual going on here. I think they ban it because it's annoying as fuck. But I even know people personally that are my age, give or take, that do that shit. And it's like, you know, it's funny at first, but then when I started doing this research, started digging into it, it kind of makes me wonder, is there some push to this? Well, let's sleep on that for a second here. And while we're sleeping, we'll talk about MyPillow, because they've got your back, guys, literally. Mike Lindell's Patriotic Pillows for the best sleep. Use promo code DTOM at MyPillow.com for big savings. Don't tread on your comfort. All right. So let's wrap this whole thing up. All these series, Santeria, numerology, gangs, end times, point to one thing: spiritual warfare. I guess essentially it's time to really pay attention to what your kids are watching. Protect your kids. Ban the chant. Seek the truth. And I said this on a show a couple of weeks ago where I said, when I talked about Poor Little Rich Kid was the title of the show. And I said that one of the most important things to a kid isn't about how much wealth you have or how little wealth you have. It's about how much time you have and how little time you have with those kids. And unfortunately, in this generation, we see plenty of parents that are relatively new parents. They have young kids. And one of the most simple things for them to do is what? Hand them the iPad, hand them the phone, watch some videos, leave me alone. When I was a kid, we had video games, but we were generally outside playing. Now, the neighborhood I live in has kids that live in the neighborhood. You rarely see kids outside playing. Now, are they stuck playing video games? My kids' generation, that was probably the thing, was more trying to get them off the video games. Get them off the Xbox, off the PlayStation, whatever console you had. You need to go outside. We need to go to football practice, baseball practice, cheerleading practice, whatever it is. Get them involved in something. Because when you hand them the phone, you hand them the iPad, and you tell them, just, mommy's got to rest for a second. Or you're in a restaurant, and you're trying to calm your kid down. You put a video in front of them. And now, granted, if it's, I'm not even excusing it if it's a baby, if it's going to keep their interest, I understand that. But if the kid's 6, 8, whatever the age, you've got to pay attention to what they're looking at, because these kids nowadays are a lot smarter technology-wise than we give them credit for. And when you give them free reign of a device, we have no idea what they're looking at. And better yet, God forbid you give them an iPhone at a young age. Oh, my kid needs a phone. I need to be able to get in touch with him. Okay, if you want to use that excuse, I can understand it in a way, I guess, nowadays. I mean, when we were kids, obviously there was no such thing as cell phones, and we were just running the streets and going, riding our bikes or our skateboards and going to our buddy's house and doing whatever we wanted to. As long as we were home by dark, it was no bubbles, no troubles, right? But nowadays, that escape is a electronic device. And better and worse off, I guess, is if you give them a iPhone or an Android device, a smartphone of any brand, and they have free reign to YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. Oh, those you gotta have age verification. No, you just gotta put a date in there. I'm 30. They can make up. Okay, so it's 2025. I was born in 2000. I was born in 2000. I'm 25. Kids aren't stupid. They're just ways around this shit. It's like they make you put a driver's license in there. And subsequently, they'll look at kid-type stuff, and then these algorithms feed into that, and then they get hooked on trends. And I'm not calling for a ban of social media or TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or anything like that. I'm calling for parents out there to become parents. It's okay to be the bad guy. One of my mantras in life is, you don't raise your kids to be your friend. You raise them to be adults. And I'm not here to give you parenting advice. Lord knows I've fucked up my share of times. But you know what? I have a good relationship with my adult kids because of the way I parented. And I think that you raise your kids to become adults. And why do I say that? Why is that a mantra of mine? That's something I've said for 30 some odd years. Because you have basically 18 years to get it right. But then they have 60 or more years to fuck it up. You understand what I'm saying? If schools aren't teaching your kids how to balance a checkbook, how to manage their money, how to pay their bills on time, how to do the things that responsible adults do, then it's your job to do that. Don't blame the school system. The school system's fucked up. They're going to teach them what they need to teach them to pass certain tests. It is what it is. If you want to change that, run for school board, run for mayor, run for governor. I don't know what to tell you, but it's not going to be easy to fix one person at a time. But you can fix your family. You can fix your situation with your kids. Because once those kids hit 18, and assuming they move out when they're 18, 19, 20, whatever, they've got the rest of their life to figure it out. But if you haven't laid the bricks out for them to be able to do that, the house is going to crumble. If you don't set that foundation right, it's just going to fall apart. And it's very important that we as parents teach our kids. We don't just send them to school to learn. You teach them too when you're paying your bills. Now, I know we don't write checks much anymore. We don't balance a checkbook per se. But show them your financials. Teach them, this is how much money we have. This is the bills I have to pay. This is why we have to set a budget every month. This is why we can't just go to Disney World, why we just can't buy that toy at Walmart. It's not because you're mean, it's because you have to budget yourself. But when you give your kids everything they want, they think that's how life is. How many young adults out there, oh, Don, housing is so expensive and rent's so expensive. Okay. But if you teach your kids at a young age about financial responsibility, and I'm not saying that every kid out there needs to go to college. That's not meant for every kid in this country. But you can teach them to have a good work ethic and thrive at whatever job they do, whether they're working at McDonald's or wherever they're working at. It doesn't matter. I've always told my kids that if you're going to work wherever you're going to work, be the best at it. Make as much money at that place. If you're going to work at McDonald's, be the manager. If you're going to work at Walmart, be the manager. My wife worked at Walmart for almost 40 years. She made a damn good living doing it. She didn't go to college. It's not about that. It's about teaching them financial responsibility and adult responsibilities on how to be an adult and raise a family of their own successfully. You have 18 years to get it right. Now, I'm not saying when they're 18 you kick them out and you don't have anything to do with them. But if you don't teach them when they're young, before they decide to move out, they're going to resent you the rest of their life that you didn't teach them right from wrong. And those things, as hard as it is, if you feel that your kid needs a cell phone, that's fine. Go to Verizon, go to AT&T, T-Mobile, Cricket, Boost, I don't know, whatever's out there. I don't judge. They sell flip phones like we used to have 20 years ago. They still sell them. They do not need a smartphone. They don't need to have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. They don't need that. They just need something for you to contact them with. Make sure they got to school okay and they getting home okay, or whatever the case may be. That's all there is to it, guys. It's pretty simple. All right, guys. That is all we have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you didn't, tough shit. Guys, make sure you follow the show on social media. Don't Tread on America on Facebook, Instagram, True Social, and the Ticker Talker. And, of course, on the Twitter X Machine, DTOM Podcast 1776. Other than that, guys, hit the website, DontTreadonMerica.com. Email me at donq@DontTreadonMerica.com. And make sure whatever podcast app you're listening to this on, you like, follow the show. Make sure you share this with your friends. If you're on Spotify or Apple, make sure you leave a review. Give me a good 5-star rating. That would help a lot. And if you're on Rumble, guys, follow the show. Don't Tread on Merica TV. We're not on YouTube because, whatever. Finally got Rumble working again. So anyway, other than that, guys, you have a great day. Have a fantastic rest of your Sunday. We have today is the 14th, so we got 11 days till Christmas. I'm going to try and get a couple more shows done. It is busy. And other than that, guys, you have a great rest of your day. And I will probably be back on Tuesday. I have jury duty on Tuesday. God. Guilty! Oh, you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you again Tuesday or Wednesday. See you later. Peace.